Today we're placing brakes and rotors, front and rear, on a Subaru Ascent. This is the same process for all Subaru Ascent models. I think that's 2019 and up. This in particular is a 2022 Subaru Ascent. We have a rotor. We're only actually doing front rotors, but we are doing the front and rear brake pads. The first step is to take off your wheel. Now that the wheel is off, you can see our rotor and our brake caliper with the pads. We're going to have to take the entire brake caliper off. There's bolts in the back. We'll show you those next. These are 17mm bolts. The lugs were 19. There's one right here I'm working on. And then I'll pull this out of the way so you can see the one underneath. This one right here, you see we've already got it started a little bit. Now before we keep going, I want to take a moment to mention to you guys, if you're watching this video before we are at 1,000 subscribers, we are not making money off the ads you already have to watch our videos. So you should subscribe so we can get paid for the ads you already have to watch. I'm going to keep loosening these. So we got those two bolts off. This thing now can wiggle off. It's a little bit tight, but it will eventually wiggle off. And you don't want to drop it right away because this thing's attached right here and you're going to put stress on your brake lines. It's a terrible day if you break one of those off. You can tie this up, but all we have to do is get the brake pads out of it. So that's what we're going to do next. The bottom one you can just pry gently, symmetrically all over. You can get it to come out. Now keep in mind, this is what the new one looks like. It has these metal flange pieces that actually drop down into here. So you're going to need some space to take those out. Might be easier to wiggle the top one out first. And that one you can just pry down, and that one will wiggle out too. Okay. So the top one. And then this bottom one will have more space to pop out of there. There it goes. Our new set also gave us one of these, so you can pry one of these out too. It's kind of hooked in there a little bit, so just keep that in mind with your prying angle. Now for reinstalling the brake pads. We're going to start with the bottom one just because it needs that extra space to slide in. So it's going to be installed just the way it came out. Line it up. There we go. Takes a little time to wiggle into place. But now it'll be lined up. Make sure you have it oriented correctly. It should drop into the sides. Fit like a puzzle piece into there. And then you can just push it down into those brake canisters. So what we're doing here, we got this one in place. That's the easy part, pushing this down and getting then that one in place. Now we're going to take our new one and we're going to set it up where it goes. Now keep in mind, this thing wiggles. You see that wiggle? We're going to use that to get this new one in place. So it's seated all the way up. You see how it's flush here? Now we want to hold it here, so we're going to take our old brake pad, which almost fills the gap. Now let's put it in the same way. And then we're going to fill the rest of the space with a piece of cardboard here. And this is going to hold this brake pad all the way up against the top. All the way up against the top. Now this thing still wiggles like that. And the reason it's wiggling is because you don't have this thingamabobber in place. Now this is the challenging part. The way this goes is it sits on here like so, except these have to be hooked into here. And one way to do this is to just get one side started. So this is hooked underneath the lip inside of there. And then we're going to just pull it this way. And now we're going to pry to get this piece tucked under there, and then this piece is in place. There. See how I just pushed it this way, and then it kind of snapped down? This is now in place, and this isn't wiggling like it used to wiggle. You can pull out our junk. This is now complete. Now, if this space isn't enough to fit back over the rotor, it's because these pistons need to be compressed. They make tools that you can put in here and screw to widen that gap. If you don't have that, you can make do with some pliers, maybe some vice grips. You just squeeze down on these, like this thing, just squeeze down on these pistons. So we're going to see if this fits back on. Looks like not quite. Now, before you put the brake caliper back on, if you're replacing your rotor, you want to do that next because the brake caliper has to be off. We looked at our rotors. Our rotors are actually not that bad. We're not going to replace our rotors today. However, if you're going to, remove the rotor, put it back on. Now, to get the brake caliper to fit back on, we used both of these. Both of these worked fine to recompress the piston. Now you want to be careful recompressing the piston. You should try to do it symmetrically, and you should try to do it slowly so it has, squeezes down nice and slowly. We just fit this in here like so and pressed it back down. Worked really well. Only took a few minutes. Now, for the reinstall. Another thing you can do before you put it back on is actually clean off your rotor. You can use any old brake cleaner, and that'll just provide a better surface, reduce some of the rough braking with driving if you have a smoother surface for the brake pads to work on. Make sure you're oriented the correct way. This shiny metal piece should be facing towards you, and the hose should not be kinked. Now you just have to make sure it fits onto the rotor. It might be a little tight squeeze, but remember it was a tight squeeze coming off. You really have to rip it out of there. So that's okay. And then you just line up your two holes. Our bolts are right here. And we'll get them started. And then these bolts on the brake caliper should be torqued to 61 foot-pounds. The last step is to put the wheel back on. A good idea is to put some anti-seize. Be careful, you don't want it on your brake rotor. You don't want it on the surface of the rotor, but you want it down here where the wheel attaches. You can put some on the actual wheel, and that way you know you're not getting anywhere you don't want some on the rotor. So we got the wheel back on the front. These we got on pretty tight, however they're not torqued all the way down. The torque is 90 foot-pounds for lug nuts. Once we lower the car all the way down, we'll tighten them all the way down to their torque spec. However, we just got them on pretty tight and close to that for now, because the wheel spins when it's up. We're going to move to the back. We already took the wheel off, and the brake rotor is right here in the same spot. These are a 19 millimeter back here versus 17 millimeter in the front. Don't know why they did that. Ours were a little bit more rusted back here, but nothing the PB Blaster can't handle. Now that we got these loose, I'm going to take them off just like we did in the front. Alright, just two bolts just like in the front. So there's a brake line going into the top, and there's also a wire that connects to it on the bottom. So you're not able to just yank it off the way it is because it's anchored on top and bottom. So you can loosen this bolt up here. This is a 12 millimeter bolt, and that allows this to just slide out. Now we have more play, and we can actually wiggle this off now. You see how it's attached down here? That's not good. You could also unclip it. That works too. We might just do both. Alright. So, the bottom one can just be pried out like so. Piece of cake. There it comes. Alright, bottom one has this doohickey on it. that goes in the back, and it kind of holds it in between. There's little slots for it. And this top one has a metal wire across it. This metal wire functions just like the other metal clamp piece that was in the front. It kind of holds this in place and keeps the two pieces from wobbling. So we're reinstalling the bottom one. Those two old brake pads popped out of here, no problem. And we left this metal wire in place. It'll probably work to leave it in place. We'll move it if we have to. So this bottom one is the one that has the metal wire in it. It works best if you can kind of squeeze in one side. So I'm going to try to line up the bottom here maybe. And try to get that to sit in place. Alright, so there goes the bottom. You see how the bottom fell into its little groove. Now you just have to push and hold it in place because it has this metal clip, spring clip back here, and then move the top into its place as well. Here's the new one. It literally just pushed right into place. And then here's the front, or the outer rotor. There's a little less space in here now, and part of the reason might be because we have this bungee cord. So we had this bottom one wiggled in, and then the top one fit in there with a little bit of convincing. But the problem with this is we could compress the piston, but not all the way. This isn't enough space to fit on the rotor. What you have to do is you have to get back here because this is electronic. It's not too hard to get back there. And you can do this before you have your pistons in, but we found it easiest to have our pistons in. And then you take off Allen key bolts. Here's the last one here. Okay. And then this is going to wiggle off. We did unclip that like we said we would. So with doing that method and compressing it, it was able to barely squeeze on. So that's the way to compress the piston on the rear. Now we're reinstalling it. We're screwing back in those little Allen keys that held the black electronic component back onto the caliper.
Sucks.
It does. It sucks. It's a pain in the ass. Whoever designed this is an idiot. And then we are going to remount it back on here with those 17 millimeters, I believe it was, or was it 19? It might have been 19. And then this rotor is done. We'll put the wheel on to finish it off.